Hello and welcome to Theology on Tap. And today I want to talk about this movie that I saw this past week. It's called The Professor and the Madman. The reason when I talk about this movie is because I think it's excellent. Excellent film. I'm kind of sad that I didn't watch it in the movie theater because I heard about it like a year and a half ago that Mel Gibson and Sean Penn is going to be in the movie together. Sean Penn plays the Madman. I kind of wish Mel Gibson played the Madman because he portrays those mad characters really well. But I think Sean Penn did an excellent job. Mel Gibson is really good as a professor. The film is shot really well. The movie had a production budget of 20 or $25 million, which is very good for this kind of movie. But it only made $5 million at the box office, mostly because I think the studio didn't even advertise it. I didn't know it came out in May, I think this year. I didn't know. So when I saw it on Netflix for the Blu-ray, I rented it and watched it. I kind of wish I watched it in the movie theater because I would have spent the money to see it. And I think it's excellent. It's kind of too bad. I think a lot of critics didn't like it, even though it's got 7.2 on IMDb. But I think on Metascore it only got 20-something, and Rotten Tomatoes, they rated it rotten. So I just don't understand. I don't understand what is it about this movie that you don't like. I know it's slow. I know it's about history. It's based on a true story. I know the subject matter is not that exciting. Right? It's about words. Right? It's about these professor and the madman coming together to bring about Oxford Dictionary. Right? Because the professor's goal was to make a dictionary to put every known or every English word that has ever been used and put it in a dictionary. I mean, can you imagine doing something like that? I think at the end of the movie, we figure out that it took something like 60 or 70 years to put all the Oxford Dictionary together. That's amazing. That is truly amazing. Because we all have passions in life. My passion is to know Christ and Him crucified and what it means to people and how it could help people. I'm really passionate about that. But there are people who are passionate about sports, movies, so many different things. But I have never met someone in my lifetime, okay? Because I don't really hang out with smart people too much, right? Because, I'm not that smart. But I never met anyone that actually had passion for words, right? Words. And Professor and the Madman, they did. And the way they communicate with each other, talking about words and how excited they get about these English words. And I just wish, watching this movie, I kind of wish I would have studied more, right? Memorized some nouns and adjectives, because it would help me so much to make these videos so much better. But but I just don't have the IQ nor the passion in my life ever to get to know these words. But wonderfully done. Movie is truly well made. Now, the reason why I liked it even more, because the story in itself. You have this man who doesn't really have a degree. He dropped out of school when he was 14 or 15 years old. But he had passion for words, and he studied it, and he became knowledgeable or fluent in something like, I think the movie mentioned something like 10 languages or more. I mean, this man could speak 10 languages, and a lot of them dead languages. I don't know anyone like that. Only person that I knew that I heard of in my lifetime that knew 6 dead languages was Gene Scott, and I admire him just because of that. But this man, Dr. Murray, that Mel Gibson portrays this man named Dr. Murray, I mean, he just had passion for words. And then we find a madman. We find out he's schizophrenic. At the beginning of the movie, he murders a man because he has this thought in his mind that someone is after him. It's guilt. He did something wrong during the Civil War in the United States, and that because he did something wrong, he got so much guilt, and he thinks that there are people he'd done wrong in the past is out to get him. So in that irate state, he murders somebody, and he ends up in a mental hospital. And he's mad, right? He can't think straight, and he's going down in life until he finds out about Dr. Murray and his goal of putting together a dictionary that has all the English words in it, the history as well. And this madman gets very excited about it. He brings all these books into the hospital, and he starts helping Dr. Murray. And when they meet, they have a conversation. One is a sane and I guess high in society, you could say. He's a professor. He got a doctorate from Oxford. And the other person is from, I guess he graduated from Yale, and he's a madman, the professor and madman coming together for this dictionary. And I know that later on in the movie, Oxford doesn't like the fact that Dr. Murray is using a madman who has murdered somebody to help bring this book together. It doesn't look good, not as far as the respect and things are concerned. But it was done really well. There's particularly one scene where they're starting to do experiments on Sean Penn's character. It gets really gross. But I think it's something that you need to see about how they treated people with schizophrenia back. It was only like 150 years ago, 120, 130 years ago. It's really sad because my mother-in-law is schizophrenic, and thank God for medication. That with medication she's able to function, okay. But without it, because sometimes she doesn't take it, and when she kind of loses control of her mind, and it's kind of scary. It really is. But it's also kind of cool that even though he didn't take any medication, that as long as he could focus on words, he was able to control his brain. And I thought that was really neat. I mean, really neat. The thing that brought this madman back to being mad is the fact that he murdered somebody, and as well as he didn't treat the soldiers very well when he was fighting the Civil War, that guilt. All right? Guilt is something that we all have to deal with in life because we all have done something wrong in the past. Now, this is why I'm going to bring in Jesus and Christianity. And out of that guilt, he goes mad. But as long as he could focus on the words, then the words were his savior, you see, that he could think straight. And we need something like that in life to help us to just continue to do good in life. But the guilt is always there. Well, the murdered man's wife, she comes to see the madman in the hospital. And of course, the madman wants to help the widow and gives her some money so she doesn't go hungry, and her kids could be well fed. But as they meet from more than once, it seems like she falls in love with him. Right? And since she doesn't know how to read, the madman teaches her how to read, so she writes him this note. And this is, I think, is so great in the sense that it applies to, I think, every one of us. What she wrote was, if love, ... then what? If love, ... then what? Well, he couldn't handle that. He really felt that he didn't deserve love because he has done so much wrong in his life. So he blurts out the word, right? When the professor goes to see him because he's going mad again, the madman says, assythment. Right? See, I never even heard of this word before. Assythment. And I guess it was a court of law. In a court of law in Scotland, in England, back in the 16th century, there was this law that if you murder somebody, then you have to compensate the murdered man's relatives, pay them. So it's kind of like the old Jewish law, eye for an eye kind of a thing, right? Even though you don't have to give your life if taking another, but you have to pay him back so that you could be clear of what you have done wrong. Assythment. And he really wanted to pay back, so he felt that he didn't deserve love. So when he gets this note that says, if love, then what he writes back basically is that it says, if love, then there is no chance for redemption. Because his understanding of redemption was to pay back for all the wrongs he has done. But if love was given to him, then there's no chance for redemption. And I just kind of opened my eyes, because that's the law, right? You got to pay back. It opened my eyes in the sense that I could understand why so many people have a hard time accepting the love of Jesus Christ. Because a lot of times we feel that we don't deserve it. Right? that we don't deserve it, or we are so bogged down into this law system that says if you've done something wrong, you have to pay back. And I know I made a lot of videos about this, but there is a religious law as well. There's the Ten Commandments to everything else where, you have to follow the law. If you break the law, then you have to pay. That was what all the sacrifices and things were about, right? And big problem that I have with Christianity, with the popular Christianity, is that we still hold on to the law as well as grace in the New Testament, but a lot of times we talk about the law more than Jesus Christ. And I really have a problem with that. Because Jesus came with love. If love, then what? Well, a lot of people doesn't want that. We want to be redeemed. We want to try our best to redeem ourselves. Even if you believe in Jesus Christ, everybody that I talk to says, yeah, you still have to go and ask for forgiveness every single time. That we are a bunch of sinners. We're no good. We're born sinners. We're always going to be sinners. I know Jesus died for me, but we're always going to sin. So we always have to be redeemed. We always have to ask. It doesn't matter that Jesus said once and for all, right? He died for our sins once and for all. That we continue to have this guilt. And so this madman had this guilt that he could not get rid of. But as long as he could focus on words, he was able to focus on it. But when love was given to him, then he couldn't handle it. And that's why I feel like somehow, even in Christianity sometimes, a lot of times, if not all the time, we continue to focus on the things that we have done wrong. Right? That we need to be paid for our mistakes. That kind of a thought. If love, then what? That there's no chance for redemption. And I think a lot of times people have that understanding of it, and it kind of drives them mad. No wonder it's really hard for us to forgive and live in mercy, right? That it is not the law of God that brings us redemption. It is the love that brings us redemption. And we need to accept love of Christ, get rid of the law-oriented mentality. If love, then what? Well, the madman's result is there's no chance for redemption. However, at the end of the movie, the Professor Murray's wife, her conclusion is, if love, then love. See, that is the answer. If you receive the love of Christ, then we'll be able to love. That there is a spirit that gives us the power to love. And we should really abide by that, keeping the step of in the Spirit of God. So I really love this movie because of that. It had a great story. It's just amazing that it's based on a true story. I like the meaning of it. I love the word assythment. I think a lot of people are stuck in that idea of assythment. We have to pay back. But when Jesus did that, I don't even know how to use it in a sentence, right? Assythment. Jesus became the assythment for us, so we don't have to pay back in that sense, so that we could freely start living in love. What a great film. So if you haven't seen it yet, which I'm sure most of you have not, please watch this movie. Rent it, because I think we need to support movies like this, so that, because I know a lot of people are into this, well, so am I actually, action movies to comedies and things. But when something like this, something as meaningful as this comes out, I think we need to support it. All right. So rent it and watch it, and let me know what you think. All right. God bless you, and I will see you next time.